An old friend called me from Toronto, Tuesday precisely. We exchanged pleasantries, and it's like, there's a sister of mine in your area. I would like you to help her. She came into Canada as a student with 3 kids. She's been finding it hard to get accommodation. What's accommodation? Tell her to call me. Let's see what we can do for her. I can help her make a few calls as well. As Nigeria now, I said okay. When the lady called me, I'm like, okay, right now I'm not even around. I'm in the US. When I get back, I'm going to get on your matter. Just give me some time. When I go back, she called me and she started explaining. She said that when she came in, she was staying in Airbnb, and after a week she wanted to extend her stay, and they told her no, that they already gave it to someone else because she didn't book the place earlier than when she wanted to extend it. So she had to move to like a motel. Now she's in the motel. She's paid for over a week and she's kind of running low on cash. Say it's not easy to be using naira to change dollars. She needs to get a house as soon as possible. I'm like, okay, accommodation, but you don't have credit record though. So I told her, you are not working yet, so definitely no pay stubs. You are a fresher in the country, definitely no credit records. So it's kind of going to be hard getting a house all by yourself if you're not renting with someone. A shared living is what I'm suggesting for you. But you have 3 kids. I do not think anybody want to share a room with or a flat with someone that has 3 kids. And the way I brought this, I was just we were just talking like that. I'm like, okay, since you said the first thing you want to do now is just get out of that place, you don't mind the shared living, you don't mind anyhow, even if it's women's shelter, but you can't go to the women's shelter because you're resuming school on Monday, and you don't want your children to go through all that. It's better we just start making calls for you to get you a shared living pending when you're able to get a proper befitting accommodation. I'm like, okay, let me see what I can do for you. I still have some work I need to do in my basement, but because you said you need to move from the motel that you have immediately, can you come and take a look? If it's okay for you, I can throw in 2 beds and you guys will just be there for a few days while we start making calls and know what to do. Next day, very early, she was in my house. I took her to the basement. I showed her around. So while I was showing her around, we were just talking, and I was like, when you have a student status and you come in with your kids, definitely it's either they've given your husband visa or you can also apply for your husband. So I was like, okay, now that we're talking of getting you an accommodation, are you looking for a shared living, or you're looking for something temporary while your husband will come, or you just want to get yourself a befitting apartment for the family because your husband will soon come to join you? I was just talking like this, running my mouth, and she just busted into heavy tears. She started shedding tears. She started crying, like sobbing. She was wailing in tears. I'm like, how did you go from 0 to 100 just now? What happened? Why are you crying? I was just like, I was confused. She started crying and crying. So I gave her time. I was just, patting her back. I'm like, take all the time you need, because sometimes it just has to come out, And after some while, she was calm. I said, what happened? Why are you crying? She said, her husband is dead. I said, how? Your husband is dead? How? She's a young lady. I've not gotten to where I'm going to, but I'm just trying to give you a backstory because this really touched me, that it was my highlight of the week. Why are you crying? She said her husband died. I said, how? So she started explaining to me that it was her husband that was processing all this paper thing for her right from years back. That the initial plan was even to come in with a PR, like maybe get in the program of all these skilled workers stuff, or provincial nominee, all those PR programs. That was what the husband was even processing before they said, okay, let's just do students. Okay, so she started explaining that it was her husband that started the whole processing thing. He was even trying all these PR pathways before, provincial nominee or all these skilled workers program. That was what they were initially planning. But all of a sudden, the husband was just like, okay, come and go for this student package. She, you understand? Because, I might not be here. That the husband is always saying, I might not be here, but she doesn't even understand it. But I just wanted to be, independent and all that. Started the whole processing thing. Everything was going on well. The husband was even a bank manager, in one of these banks. They were based in Abuja. So the husband got promoted at work. Everything was just going on fine. She was like, she wasn't even feeling the, going abroad thing, because she's like, me, I can't leave my husband though, because the husband has always been like, you will be going you will go with the kids. I will be here working because I have a good job. I'll just be like your backup plan, kind of like. And she's just like, well, my husband doesn't know what he's saying, because me, I don't want to leave my husband, that kind of a thing. She was just saying, she was not saying yes, she was not saying no. So she was just saying, let this man be doing whatever thing he's doing. That the man kept planning. So the man got promoted and was moved from Abuja to Lagos. He came first. He didn't come with the family. So he came first, and he was there for a few months. One day, the husband was just leading open heavens in church. He just called her that your husband slumped and he died. He said, my husband slumped and he died. Are you sure you're calling the correct number, or you're calling the right person? How will my husband slump and die? She said your husband was in church. He just finished leading open heavens and he slumped and died.